AITAH for leaving the weekend friend trip after being made to sleep on the couch. I F29 and Josie, F30, have been friends since high school. We live apart but still keep in very regular contact. I was invited to stay with her and her husband, Leo, M30, for a few days because their town was having a huge annual festival that we were all interested in attending. They had asked me to come early this year. Maybe a month or so before, they informed me they invited some college friends to stay for the weekend as well. I was excited for this because I have only met their college friends a handful of times, and I know they are really close. The plan was for me to stay Thursday, Monday. I should also preface that when Josie and Leo bought their home, I stayed with them for a month while I was between jobs. This was many years ago now, but since it has been dubbed my room. It is obviously not actually mine, but I have stayed in it every time I have visited them since. I drove 4 hours to their place on Thursday. When I arrived, their college friends were there already and I was shocked to see it wasn't just them. Josie and Leo had invited their friend Shane and his fiancée, and their friend Sarah and her husband. I have met Shane and Sarah before but not their partners. I was immediately irritated because it felt like a couple's get-together already. I have a partner of nearly 3 years who I live with, Oliver, who Josie and Leo have met several times, and he was not invited on this trip. I tried to get over the awkwardness and exchange pleasantries, until I went to go upstairs and put my bag away and Josie and Leo stopped me and told me that Shane and his fiancée were staying in that room. I was like, whoops, my bad, I should not have assumed, and asked if I was in the other, smaller guest room. They said no, Sarah and her husband were in there. They told me then that they hoped I was okay with sleeping on the couch. I was really trying not to be too annoyed or cranky about this, but I had just driven 5 hours and was under the impression I was getting a bedroom for the weekend, mostly because we had this weekend planned for months and they had never mentioned otherwise. I would not have been opposed to a couch sleep for maybe one night, but there was no way I was going to sleep on the couch for the entire weekend, especially since we'd be drinking and partying pretty heavily. I asked them why they didn't tell me plans had changed so I could get a hotel sooner, and they insisted they didn't think I'd have a problem sleeping on the couch. Apparently, Sarah and her husband were planning on getting a hotel but waited too long and couldn't find an affordable one last minute. At this point I was really irritated, both by the partner situation and the sleeping arrangements. I called Oliver and he was upset for me. We both looked for hotels in the area but could not find anything affordable for the entire weekend. I told Oliver about the couples and he was annoyed to not be invited since he likes Josie and Leo a lot. Finally, after like an hour of back and forth, Oliver asked if I wanted to come home, and I honestly really did. I privately told Josie and Leo I was uncomfortable by the situation, wished everyone a good weekend, and drove back home. I got a call Saturday morning from Josie, and she said she was really disappointed that I had acted so rashly, and she wished that I had stayed. I told her that I didn't understand why she didn't update me on the sleeping situation as soon as she knew about it, and she told me the only reason I was booted to the couch is because Sarah and her husband both couldn't fit. So then I asked her why she didn't invite Oliver if she had invited the other couples, and she just said sorry, they hadn't thought about it. I told her that I was upset and hurt by the situation, and I didn't regret leaving. I received another message from her last night saying everyone had left and she was really disappointed in me, and that I ruined her weekend because she was upset the entire time. I am starting to feel bad and also FOMO from not being there. I had been really looking forward to the festival and hanging out with everyone. Anyway, AITAH for leaving. As I am reading through the comments, I am untangling some of the feelings I was having. I'm upset by being assigned to the couch, especially because it was last minute and I was not told beforehand. An entire weekend of partying with an uncomfortable sleeping arrangement and no privacy really sounded miserable. I am not 22 anymore. But I do think I am more upset about Oliver's exclusion, and just didn't piece it together, really held on to the couch as an excuse. It really did feel like it was made into a couple's weekend, and somehow Oliver and I were excluded from that. I hated immediately feeling like the seventh wheel. I did not know Shane and Sarah's partners were going to be there, literally, until I walked in and saw them.